One of our publications, this in the World Tribune, this is something that every member in the SGI looks to. The writings of Sensei, teachings of Nichiren, all here in a really understandable way that helps our practice. So we'll have some slides here. If any of you have already read this, because this is a lot of excerpts, you're free to take a nap or go eat. For everyone else, this will be informative. On January 26, 1975, 158 Soka Gakkai representatives from 51 countries and territories gathered in the island of Guam to attend the first World Peace Conference. There they established the Soka Gakkai International, named Daisaku Ikeda its first president. So why Guam? The island had been of strategic military importance since 1521. During the ensuing centuries, conquerors, explorers, and traders came and went, exploiting Guam's natural resources and using the native Chamorro people as a means to an end. This inhumanity reached an apex during World War II, when the Japanese occupied the island. President Ikeda explained, "I chose Guam as the site to establish the SGI because I firmly believe that the island, which had been a fierce battleground during the Pacific War, must generate waves of peace throughout the world, thus serving as a new source of global peace." In his address at the first World Peace Conference, President Ikeda stated, "It could be said that this is a small conference, a gathering of nameless people from various countries and territories, but I believe that today's gathering will shine brightly in history for centuries to come, and your names will no doubt be engraved not only in the saga of the worldwide spread of Buddhism, but in human history as well." SGI USA General Director Emeritus Fred Zaitsu accompanied President Ikeda on his travels as Seikyu newspaper correspondent. He remembers, "Sensei was moving non-stop for 23 days, but he never looked tired. He was full of energy and vigor, putting his whole life into each encounter." When we visited Arlington National Cemetery in Washington, D.C. to offer prayers at the tomb of the unknown soldier, everyone wore thick overcoats in the freezing temperature. Sensei, however, wore only a suit as a gesture of respect for those who sacrificed their lives. Guy McCluskey, Central Territory Many Treasures Group men's leader, served as support staff throughout President Ikeda's travels and as a master of ceremonies at the first World Peace Conference. He said, "I remember when Sensei visited the University of Chicago on January 16th, and some members greeted him. He immediately began encouraging several future division members and even took a photo with them. Whether speaking with a dignitary, scholar, or child, President Ikeda shows each individual ultimate respect. I've never encountered anyone with more consistent behavior than President Ikeda." On the evening of January 25th, a culture festival was held on Rizal Beach, the site of massive bloodshed during World War II. One of the performers was Carol Pelikai, a Vice Region women's leader in Hawaii, says, "Growing up, I experienced poverty and unending violence, which I attributed to Hawaiian culture. Getting to Guam was financially hard, but I challenged myself that I could perform a hula dance for Sensei. During the performance, I felt it was just me and my mentor. This was the opportunity to uncover my fear and pain and summon hope." On January 26, 158 members from 51 countries gathered at the International Trade Center in Tamuning, Guam's capital city. They established the Soka Gakkai International, uniting for the first time as Soka Gakkai members around the world for the cause of Kosen Rufu and lasting peace. Each participant wrote their name and the country they represented in a guest book. President Ikeda wrote, "The world." He did so recalling the resolve of his mentor, Soka Gakkai President Jose Toda, to achieve worldwide Kosen Rufu. Momi Kobayashi, a vice chapter women's leader in Hawaii, traveled to Guam as a performer, recalling being deeply moved by his gesture. "At that time, I realized that Sensei is always having an inner dialogue with his mentor, President Toda. This ongoing dialogue seems to guide each of his actions. I decided to begin my own ongoing dialogue with President Ikeda from that moment." Gary Murray, SGI USA Arts Department advertiser, supported the event from behind the scenes. This is what he said. "With all the different countries represented and each person's commitment to peace, the conference felt like the United Nations of the Soka Gakkai. While at that time I didn't fully realize the scope of the event, I certainly was impressed by Sensei's foresight to hold this gathering. Inheriting the mission for worldwide Kosen Rufu in the new era. 4 decades after the SGI's founding, this network of engaged Buddhists now encompass 12 million people in 192 countries and territories. Every minute of every day, someone in the world is chanting Nam Myoho Renge Kyo. As the Soka Network continues to dynamically expand, the SGI will shine even more brightly as a great beacon of peace and hope for the world. Please raise your hand if you will never be defeated.
Yes.
Thank you so much for raising your hand. So, Akami Bailey, the women's division leader of SGI USA, come back recently, and she took some really good notes, guidance given by Sensei just within the last weeks. And I wanted to share one of the last things that Sensei had said as a message. He said, please engrave this point in your heart and memorize this. Rather than seeking your own praise and glory, I hope you will dedicate your whole life for the sake of peace throughout the entire world. So, Ikeda Sensei has lived his life according to this principle, and each of you are doing the same. So one more time, I'll say what his message was. Engrave this point in your heart and memorize this. Rather than seeking your own praise and glory, I hope you will dedicate your whole life for the sake of peace throughout the entire world. Thank you so much for listening and for coming.